Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday, your favorite day of the week. For only this reason, no other popular D&D stream on this night ever. You're here to see Monsterhearts, and you've never seen anything else on Twitch. Just a reminder to my players before we get started. Make each main character's life not boring. Keep the story feral. Say what the rules demand, and say what honesty demands. Onyx, you had a first day of freshman year of high school. You maybe made some friends, enough to get a group of people to potentially participate in a new tradition. You have invited a group of what you have maybe deemed ragtag people in your class to meet you at the cemetery, at the old mausoleum, after dark, a little after dark. And as your day wraps up, I want to make sure, because I think we ended last time before you got to really have some final moments with your school day.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? What does Onyx do post her first day of freshman year?
You want me to go into what I was up to when everyone else was out in the woods?
So if there is
Or
anything between,
before that?
yeah, like
I
in,
think yeah. I don't think there's anything really between because I was at um practice
mhm,
afterwards.
yeah. So
Um
around like 5-ish is when practice, I think we said, ends.
yeah, and I think I would have probably left, said goodbye to Josh, um probably roughed around with Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
trying to avoid going home for a while, just hanging
Mm-hmm.
out. But yeah, I don't think I was up to anything like super specific.
Okay. So I will say, after practice, you do text Alaska, and you don't get a response.
Okay.
Yeah, you see that she reads it. You've made a promise, or she made you a promise, essentially, to keep her read receipts on, just for your own sake.
Hmm.
And you see that she reads it, but she does not respond.
Okay. Yeah. So I probably texted her about by the way, everyone's coming around by what did we say, 8 or 9?
Mm-hmm.
Like, keep the younger kids out of sight if they're at home.
Yeah,
Um, and it's just read, and I don't hear from her.
yeah, yeah. You don't, and it like even around like the time
I'm gonna double
that
text, be like, Alaska, can you please confirm? Nothing.
you see the like typing, the like bubble pop up of dot 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 dot, and then you just get a thumbs up reaction to your first message.
Okay. Okay. Um, I think that in my ideal world, Alaska would be joining on this
Mm-hmm.
little outing, and she'd be like my, cool upperclassman big sister that's
Mm-hmm.
also hanging out. Everything is fine. So it freaks me out a little bit that I haven't heard from her.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like, I'm not really sure what my younger siblings are up to. Um, and if they're going to be kind of out of sight because nobody can know that I live at this creation.
Yeah. Would you, if you're not hearing from Alaska and you don't really know if she has a handle on things, would you try to find your fam and just
Yeah,
give them the heads up?
Yeah, I think that, okay, well, yeah, let's say I go back to the mausoleum to try to find my younger siblings if they're back from school.
Okay. Yeah, so then you around like 6-ish finally make it back to the mausoleum. And then just for my sake and just for the sake of the stream, is the mausoleum where you're currently living or where you have always resided?
I think that we've always resided here. My parents aren't here, and maybe we haven't always been in this exact like mausoleum, this exact structure, but we've been in this graveyard. Like this is our home.
Cool. So you go back to the mausoleum and you see the small little outlines and like hear the like little kid giggles of your kid siblings Juno and Cody, and right now they're both pored over a like really it looks like they found it somewhere and like it was already partially colored in, but they've managed to find like a coloring book and like some old rose art crayons, not even Crayola, sadly. Just some old rose art crayons, and they are like poring over this coloring book and just having the time of their lives. Like they're a little bit feral children, a little bit don't usually go for this kind of entertainment, but they are just like scribbling, and Cody is just like laughing at something that Juno has said, and that's what you walk up to.
I'm gonna try to like surprise them, like scare them, kind of like sneak up and freak them out a little bit.
Okay.
And like, yeah, so try to startle them and then be like, did you all know there's a text that went around that said there's like crazy wild wolves out in the woods?
And so you do startle Juno. Cody is like unfazed, he's just laughing, but Juno kind of like startles, and then you say that, and she kind of just looks at you wide-eyed, and she's like, they're not gonna do anything about it though, are they? No one's gonna do anything about it.
Well, maybe you should be more worried about what those crazy wild wolves are gonna do to you, Juno.
No, I'm not scared.
No, there are some like actual wild wolves out here.
You're a wild wolf out here.
Well, I like to think I'm a little bit civilized.
Alaska's more civilized than you.
That's fucking rude, Juno. Like, shut up.
Don't say the F word.
I'll say the F word if I want to.
Say it. And Cody said, don't say it.
I'm like gonna turn to Cody and be like, Cody, do you want to say fuck?
He just gets a wide grin on his face and starts to like form the F of saying it, like while he's like looking into your eyes. And then from behind you, you hear a very slight rumbling growl.
Okay, well, turn around immediately.
Yeah, so from behind, so like you're around like the outside of this mausoleum, and from like a stone away in kind of a shaded area, it's still like pretty daylight out. The sun is just starting to peak, like, or like fall behind like the tree line in the forest, and in the shadows of this kind of very, very brambled, low-hanging tree, you see the outline of a black dog-like creature.
Do I recognize it?
You do. You recognize it to be your mother.
Nice. So I have an idea that unless I'm like in my wolf form, I can't really like communicate with my parents.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
like even like. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if we've talked about that.
No, this is good.
Like obviously we know who each other are, but there's like a communication barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are just like wolves.
Yeah.
They're not werewolves. They're just wolves.
Yeah.
So I think I would like go up and approach her. And
she doesn't move. Like she doesn't approach you. She lets you come to her, but she doesn't move, and you just see her kind of like sit back on her haunches, tucked behind this gravestone.
Yeah. And I would guess that like she probably doesn't like come out visibly in like daylight still like this often.
Yeah, this is actually a shocking kind of scene. Like you've seen her out before in like very rare circumstances, but her being out right now means that like either something's up or she needs to communicate with you.
Yeah.
Pretty direly.
Yeah. So I think I would kind of like shush the younger kid and be like, you know, just like, let me talk to mom real quick, or, you know, just hang out a second, and go over to her. And I think like our eyes are like the same kind of greenish, glowing, yellowish eyes. And I would like kind of crouch down to be eye to eye with her, and just like quietly like look into her eyes. So and
go ahead.
Yeah, just like trying to be like, this is weird that I'm seeing you right now, and like I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm gonna say roll to gaze into the abyss. Just so we can see.
Gaze into the abyss of my mother's eyes.
The abyss of my mother's eyes. Because it'll give you either some insight into why she's here, or it'll just absolutely be lost on you.
Yeah. Abyss. Let's see.
Okay.
So we get all these partial succeeds.
Abyss shows you confusing and alarming visions. You get your answer nonetheless. So in lowering down and your matching eyes meeting each other, you breathe in, you breathe out, and you are breathing together, and this is a semi-familiar way that you have found to gaze or communicate to each other, because you can't go into your darkest self is your wolf form.
Yeah, that's how I'm playing it.
Okay. So you can't just transform.
No. It would be low-key sick if I had failed that role, and then I could have become my darkest self, but
hell yeah. So yeah, you breathe in, you breathe out, you are on the same wavelength, and you aren't quite sure of what she's trying to communicate to you. She's very calm, but there's something wrong, and usually you can kind of sense where she's at when she does come to you like this. But you see kind of the green yellowish tint of her eye suddenly kind of melt into this moon behind a cloud that melts down into a puddle of water that melts down into the slap of a paw that melts into like blinding redness, and suddenly you blink and you're back, and she kind of huffs into your face, her hot breath like pushing your hair back a little bit, and you can feel that her calmness has moved into frustration and even anger. And you aren't sure why, but you do sense that like something is not right.
Would it be... Well, I'll just say, like, the one thing I'll say aloud is be like, is Dad okay? Because I think, I don't know if it would be super normal to see them separated, like her here alone.
Yeah. Yeah, usually they'll try. I would say, just for lore sake, I would say you would know that they try not to travel together in the daylight just to mitigate like potential harm that could come to them. In the nighttime, if you see them, they're always together.
So I'm just like, something is off. I'm seeing her. I'm not seeing my dad. Like, is that where she's upset? Like, is there something up with him?
She, as soon as you say, is Dad okay? She raises up on her hind legs and puts her front paws onto your shoulders and bears down on you and bites you on the neck.
I'm gonna be like, Mom, what the fuck are you doing? I like try to like tussle her away.
She growls and she pins you down harder. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, if you try to fight back, like, this is not right, this is not normal. And she's biting you pretty hard. It's not like the stuff you used to do to toughen you up as a kid, or like when you run with her or when you hunt with her in your wolf form. This is like, she's like warning you at this point now. And if you want to get her off you, you would have to roll to lash out physically.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep fighting back a little bit. I'm just gonna be like, Mom, you can make your point without like shoving me to the ground. Like, what? Stop.
She like with a mouthful of your neck, she growls in like a way that you have never heard her growl before. Okay, do I need to roll to lash out physically? Yes. What is that? That's hot. No, it's volatile. Volatile. That's hot. That's hot. I'm a wrestling with the wolves. I always want to type in the thing that I'm doing, even though it doesn't really matter. 7. Hell yeah. I swear to God.
Succeed.
Partial success. Okay. So you push her off of you. And you hear kind of a yelp, as like you hear kind of a crunch of rib as you like kick her off you.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna say, because she was latched onto you, you go ahead and mark 1 harm off of yourself, because she was like trying to essentially like dominate you, I guess. Wolf wise. And you can choose one of those 3.
Yeah, wait, what is it again? I don't have it right in front of me.
They learn something about your true nature and gain a string on you. The MC decides how bad the harm turns out. I'm deciding that you get harm just from kicking it, but if you want me to decide how much harm she gets, or you become your darkest self.
Oh shit. Okay. This is not where I thought this was going. I mean, keep the story feral. I think I become my darkest self.
Okay. I'm not gonna say I was hoping you would, but for the sake of this story that has been knocking around in my head for 2 weeks, do you want to describe what that darkest self transformation looks like? Or
yeah.
Would you like? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm happy if you want to like chime in too. I think that since this is kind of a transformation that wasn't like planned, it's a little bit like painful. I wasn't like expecting to become like my werewolf self at this moment.
Yeah.
So like I shove her off of me and kind of start to like roll over myself to get up, and like I think probably start like shaking a little bit as my body starts transforming, and I like fall with all 4 of my limbs under me. I'm just kind of like laying on the ground, like thrashing a little bit. So all my like paws come with my long claws. I probably have a thought that I'm like, shit, I just did my nails for the first day of school. I didn't do them. And then like, yeah, like kind of eventually like get up and like arch my back and find myself standing face to face with my mom again, panting, a little frustrated because I like did not want this to happen, and I'm not even like, I don't want to be like fighting her even. I'm a little bit like, what is going on? Like, I'm not trying to, like, this is not who I want to be angry at, but now I'm like pissed off and like I have stuff to do tonight. And yeah, like just kind of glowering at her.
Okay. Now that you are your wolf form, you hear a voice in your head that is the voice that you recognize as your mother. You don't hear this voice very often because, you know, of your relationship. But with anger and just through hurt in her, not only rib cage where you kicked her, but in her heart, she huffs and says, "My love, there are people in these woods, and you can't bring more people here. I won't allow it."
You won't allow it? There's people here all the time. You can't stop people from visiting it.
But not for you, not from you. Alaska told us what you were planning.
Alaska told you?
Don't be mad.
Don't
be mad at her.
She said that she would have my back.
Don't be mad at her.
Well,
she did what she was right, what she thought was right.
Look, people already think that there's wolves out here like mauling people to death. If I can bring my friends and they have like a nice little frolic in the woods, tell some scary stories around the campfire and go home safe, it actually would be like good for your PR or something.
And she, with all her strength, like heaves herself up and attacks you again. And you hear, "No,
Mom,
and,
why are you?"
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just like, why are you fighting me? As I'm like, I mean, my darkest self is like unbridled violence, so I'm like fighting her back.
Yeah. As soon as you start to fight her back, I'm gonna have her actually.
Some tunes.
She rolls a an 8 to lash out physically, which is a partial success. So she lunges again towards your neck to try to bring you into her grasp. And I'm gonna say that she does another harm on you. And as you, unless there is anything that you had in mind that you wanted to do.
I think from the corner of my eye, I assume my 2 younger siblings watching us.
They're cowering
yeah.
in fear.
And I think I would like snarl in their direction, like a kind of like go inside warning. Because like now I'm pissed at my mom, I'm pissed at Alaska, like I'm kind of like my family's like keeping me from like making friends. This was gonna be like chill and fine if everyone didn't freak out. Why are my little siblings even here? Alaska was supposed to be in charge of them. And like I'm trying to prove something to my mom. I'm like still fighting her.
Yeah.
I'm a big girl, Mom. I can take care of myself.
You snarl at your siblings. You see Cody immediately runs into the mausoleum. Juno has started to stand, and like you see the beginning stages of like a potential transformation starting for her. And that snarl, she shuts it down. She goes inside. And I'm gonna say you take that second harm, and because in the system there's only 4 harms, you are like at half capacity.
Yeah.
She takes you and bangs your head against the nearest like flat stone, and you lose consciousness.
Okay. I'm like in the graveyard, just laying there.
Vernon.
Yes.
You were mysteriously absent after school. What did you get up to?
Yes, I think the one thing that Vernon wants above all else is like information about people. He just really likes knowing things about people that they don't know he knows about them. That's like his number one goal, which is, you know, somewhat difficult to accomplish, unless you just follow people at great distances and stick to the shadows. So I think he probably he thought about just going to the graveyard as like a friend with everyone else. It's like a little too easy. So instead he went to the graveyard, but you know, in the shadows, just watching everyone without ever announcing himself.
Okay.
Perv.
I imagine like that scene in Twilight where like Edward runs up the tree with Bella. Like you're just like running up trees and stuff.
Yes.
Call me your spider monkey.
So we'll say, yeah, dusk starts to settle. Vernon, would you even say that you might have been there first? Or would you want to tail behind everyone?
I think he would tail behind it.
Okay.
I think he's like interested in like the dynamic of who came together and who met up, and like, you know, their friend groups, and like who seems to not enjoy each other, or, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, so then you see Steve and Ronnie showed up together, right? Steve, Ronnie, and Becca.
Steve, Ronnie, and Becca.
Yeah, because they all met on the train. So you see them all walk up together first, right? Oh gosh, I should have written this down. Y'all get there first, and then Duffy and Josie follow. And you...
And Dustin was there.
Dustin and Josh.
Dustin showed up. What?
That was a terrifying sound. What was that?
Emily coming home.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
gonna say a door opening ominously.
Yeah, Dustin showed up and
Josh
showed up.
Josh showed up. So
We're
yeah,
even here, bro.
So I was watching.
He watched
I know.
it.
I really
Creep. So yeah, you see everyone showing up. You see very clearly that Becca is looking around, does not want to be there. Ronnie is taking notes, as always, in her notebook. Dustin, when he shows up, talks to Steve for a second. Duffy, so you see Josie, the blue-haired new girl, with a small blonde boy, which I can show you since you weren't here last week. So you see Josie with a little blonde boy who has very proudly showing a flashlight that he's brought, and you hear the name Duffy mentioned when Josie introduces him to everybody. There's a little bit of some ponderings as to where Onyx is. Where should we wait for her? Should we go on without her? There's like some time that is spent waiting, a little bit of chit chat, and then the group eventually makes their way, starting onto the gravel path into the woods itself.
Okay, yes. Let's see. I'm not pervy.
Says every perv.
I'm just a vampire. Yes. They're like little introductions. I think there's a part of Vernon that's like, this is weird. Like, he's, you should at least like, make yourself known. You can't just, sit and do your own thing for a long time. But, the urge to just, peer and peek is a little too great. So he just doesn't say anything and follows them as they make their way further.
Okay. So yeah, you follow behind. They eventually make their way into a spot where they sit down, get comfortable. There's a little bit of chit chat, followed by a little bit of franticness. You start to hear a slight chanting. You start to hear a little bit of Becca, you recognize Becca's voice, starts to freak out a little bit. And then almost so suddenly, you hear the crunch of a bunch of different footsteps, all circling the group. Alaska. I mean, like Onyx. I was thinking Juno, and I like Juno and Alaska, and Cody, and then Onyx. So many Alaska-themed family names. Onyx.
I didn't even realize that which is the funniest part.
You wake up covered in blood. You are not near the mausoleum. You are in the deep, deep forest. You are in a place that you have only come to once or twice in the dead of night, on a full moon, in your woven form, to consult the comfort of your mother and your father. You've been dragged here, as evidenced by the leaves in your hair, the caked up dirt around your hands, almost as if you have come to and struggled and passed out again, not remembering how you got here. And in the distance, you see an outline of a like grayish white wolf standing guard on you. And you know, yeah, like I would say about maybe 20-ish feet, so not directly next to you, but looking out as if watching something. And you look around, you're not in your form anymore, you're a teenage girl. Your nails are broken, you're disheveled, but you see this whitish gray wolf standing guard, and you do know that is your father.
Daddy.
Daddy.
I think I wake up in like a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. My head is like killing me. Probably pretty weak too if I like lost some blood where I got bit. Mm-hmm. A little bit more like sedated, right? But kind of still angry because I don't know why that escalated so quickly. Is there anything else that like I would know if I've been to this place like a couple of times? Like, is there something special about this location, or is it just kind of like a really secluded part of the woods?
It is really secluded, and if you do approach your father, you would see that he's standing guard on like kind of it's not a peak of a mountain, but it's like a lower, like there's like a higher point, and then like a crag down the side. And if you approach him?
I think I would call out, kind of.
Yeah.
I think I'm not trying to move at the moment. Just be like,
yeah,
Dad.
You would see him look, like his outline look back at you, and then back to where he was looking.
Dad, can you like help me up or something? Like, hide it. Promise, like, not hurt me that bad because I was a literal child. I think I like complain as I like pull myself up and kind of crawl over to where he is, try to like look out and see what he's looking at.
So you see that this spot is a really good vantage point. You know why they come here. It's to get a good view of danger, to be above and knowledgeable, and you know, a good guard point essentially.
Yeah.
And below you can see a little like shroud of moonlight clustering, where a pack of wolves is now surrounding a group of individuals. And you see the moon catch on a bright blue lock of hair, and you see a flashlight shaking and the start of a glow of some sort of light in the center. It's not a fire. You don't see a flame, but there is just like a white light starting to emulate from the center.
From one of the people.
Of this group of humans, yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, with your mother leading the pack, a group of wolves surrounding this.
Yeah. I'll be like, Dad, that's your pack, right?
He huffs.
Dad, what the fuck is going on? Why are you trying to literally undermine my whole plan here? You could have left them alone. What? You're feeding into the rumors, unless you literally are the ones that are just.
The wolves take off, and you see the group of kids in the middle startle and shake and start to run as the group encloses around them, and your father just takes a deep breath in and lets out a earth-shattering howl. Vernon.
Yes.
From where you're at, a little bit behind the group, you hear all of this go on. You feel and sense and hear the crunching of footsteps around you. And you hear a shriek, and the group that you have been following and not revealing yourself to start running towards your hiding spot. What do you do?
Does it look like I need to move to stay hidden?
Yeah, you would probably need to run 50 feet to the left to not be pummeled by the group that's running, but you also don't know what they're running from, and you could be placing yourself into the path of that.
Okay, yeah, in that case, I step out, pretend like I just arrived, kind of walk up, hey, everyone. What are you running from?
So he pops out in front of me?
Yeah.
Iconic.
God. Okay, I would, Vernon! What are you doing here? Where?
We were supposed to meet here.
I look back behind me. I see that Duffy and Dustin and Josh have escaped with me, right?
Yeah, Duffy, Dustin, Josh.
So all the men left the women behind. Great. I would turn back in. I think I remember. So I look at Vernon. I'm so confused, and then I think I remember I looked at Duffy and I said, "Where's your sister?"
And then, yeah, the end of last episode was all of you realizing you had made it back to the mausoleum, and the only people that were missing were Ronnie and Josie.
Oh no! Oh yeah, so Becca came. We didn't.
Yeah. Oh, Becca's here. Yeah, Becca's here. Becca's white as a sheet, shaking. Duffy is shining the flashlight, trying to find Josie.
It's grave.
Yeah.
He's shaking
Yeah.
so much.
All right, hold on.
Vernon,
what
we're being
is
chased
happening?
We're being chased by monsters. I think maybe wolves. I mean, yeah, I just heard a howl. It's a wolf.
And you left them all behind?
I didn't know. I thought they were right behind me. We gotta act fast. Okay, Josh, you come with me. Dustin, stay here with Becca. Vernon, come with us too.
No. Steve. This is Becca. Steve. Don't go back in there. No.
Becca, it's Ronnie. And I just turn and start running.
She stays.
Okay,
Josh
yeah.
runs after you. And the two of you go running back into the forest.
Okay.
Josie, you were running as fast as you could run, as hard as you could run. Your little sneaks carrying you through the forest. You know how to navigate the woods. You know, you're following Duffy. You feel Duffy's hand in yours. You see the light. You know you're gonna get out of here. And then your shoe catches on an uprooted branch, and you feel the momentum of your body falling forward. You feel your hand unclasp from Dustin, and you're in your room at your new house. And it's dark. You've recently put up a set of string lights that you were really excited for the ambiance. They're glowing softly. And you don't smell the dirt of the forest. You don't feel the breeze. You don't see the moon peeking through the trees. You're alone in your new bedroom, in your new house, in Angelwood, in the city of Keynes, Oregon. What do you do?
I am freaking out. I'm like, oh, I just fell, and now I'm in bed, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm safe. It's like the first thought I have when I realize, fuck, Duffy is still out there. And I'm confused, and I'm trying to figure out what just happened. Can I gaze into the abyss to try and like figure out how I got here? Try and make sense.
Yeah, I would say if you're frantic, though, I wouldn't say gaze into the abyss.
Sure.
I would honestly say if you want to roll anything, roll to keep your cool so that you can move past the fear or like terror of what just happened and get your mind right to move forward.
Yeah. And then I don't see the character sheet that I had been using previously in there, so I'm just gonna have to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had one that was just.
Oh, I might have thought that I doubled it, and I might have deleted it. I'm so sorry, because I saw one. I have the characters, and then I saw one in like the.
Thought that might have been the case.
Oh no!
I couldn't add the sheet to my the Josephine one in there.
Oh,
and so I
okay.
Josie one, and then they'll see it, and it'll be different, and they'll know that I made it. And
and that wasn't the case, and I absolutely didn't take the hint.
What am I rolling to add to?
It'll be roll with cold, and we'll fix that. We can fix that on the break.
And it's 2d6.
Yeah, 2d6 plus whatever your modifier is. Either I can tell you if you remember.
That's it.
Or don't remember.
It's a 9.
9. Okay. So you keep your cool.
Because I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Like just reading what keeping me cool. Like I'm trying to calm down enough to like process in this moment, and then I like need to come up with a plan to like get back out there and find Duffy or like text or something. So that I think is if I'm below a true success, like to get success, that's kind of just where my head's at.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say you take a few deep breaths. Confused by this isn't the first time that you've kind of had this feeling of like not truly being where you're supposed to be or like ending up somewhere that you don't remember how you got there. And so like your heart is racing not only from the part that you came from, but from the sheer confusion. And you take a couple deep breaths, your heart rate starts to lower. And you know your prime objective is to get to Duffy. And I will say, if I'm telling you how your actions would leave you vulnerable, I would say that you know that if you text Duffy, it will not be the same as if you get to Duffy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, I'll say, instead of like you can choose to back down or go through with it, I will say you can pick based on how quickly you want to like reveal yourself and your okayedness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I think like right now is like it's late enough that if I get caught in my house, that my mom will be like, okay, cool, you're staying in now. Also, where's your brother?
Yeah.
So I need to still get out, and like it would be better for me to be late being home with Duffy
Mm-hmm.
to have Duffy show up without me.
But in order for you to get back to Duffy, you have to get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you figure out a way to do what you've been doing.
Yeah, I mean I don't even know how that I would begin to do that.
I don't either, because there's no way to know.
No way.
So that is how you're vulnerable then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I try to put all of the like, oh my god, I don't know how I just like teleported myself back home. I have to get back out there. Something's going on. Maybe can you get high from having weed in your pocket? So I try to like sneak out of my house and like back out to the mausoleum. And when I get outside, I text Duffy of like, are you okay? Where are you? I lost you.
Mm-hmm.
Just to like see if he responds to make sure he's not dead.
Okay. So you send that text and we cut to Steve and Josh starting to run in the forest back towards the sound. Steve, you, as you're running, even though you are dead set on like one goal and one goal only, you realize that you don't hear the footsteps of whatever was chasing you.
As in, like, I don't know where to go?
No, you just don't hear, like,
Okay.
so you heard the footsteps running towards you, and that's what prompted you to run.
Yeah.
And you don't hear those anymore. You just hear the footsteps of you and Josh going back towards where you were in the woods.
Yeah, I mean, I would just go right back to where just follow back our footsteps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You get back to the spot that y'all were doing your little seance, and you see two things. Yeah. You see your book that you had gotten out, and it's open to the page that you were doing the spell with. And remind me, what spell were you doing? Was it the liar?
It was the Ring of Lies. Yeah, I made Becca.
Ring of Lies.
Yeah. Because I technically still haven't. I don't really know how to.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we.
Gotcha. Yeah, we should discuss that. Ring of Lies. How to release. Rules of the world. And then you also see next to your book, Ronnie's phone.
I pick up my book, and I just instinctively put it in the bag. I notice like signs of blood, signs of someone being dragged. That.
As you search around,
I mean, I'm just.
Yeah, you don't see, you see like scuffed dirt and that you wipe off your book from like where y'all picked up and ran and like kicked dirt back. There's a bit of dirt on Ronnie's phone. But you do see when you pick it up?
Yeah, I pick up Ronnie's phone.
It opens to the little icon, like her lock screen opens, and the little icon that's like green that shows that there's video recording is up and on.
Shit.
And you do remember she was video recording you doing your spell.
Yeah. I put in her code 666 and then I
Canon. Can it be 6669?
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
6669 and then I turn it off recording and I like keep that in my mind. I know. And then I think I'm just panicking and Steve thinks about how he treated Ronnie. Like awkwardness happening. And I think he's just panicking, and so I think he just screams Ronnie as loud as he can.
You see Josh like startle and cover his ears, and he's like, "Oh fuck, man, that scared me."
And I just like listen to see if I hear a response. I don't.
Josh goes, "Ronnie!
Ronnie!
Ronnie!
Josie! Fuck. Fuck.
Where the fuck did they go?
I don't know, man. Okay.
No.
Just stay.
You didn't...
Just watch over me. And I sit down.
Oh.
And I take out my book. Start flipping through like breathing heavily.
Why are you gonna read right now, man?
I'm not reading, Josh. Shut up. Just watch over me. I'm sorry. Just watch over me.
Okay.
And
he like puts his hands up, like.
And I open the book, and as always happens, I don't even have to flip the page. I open the book, and it's the spell that I need. And I take Ronnie's phone, and I put it in the middle of the book, and I start chanting underneath my breath. Yet again, my pupils like dilate, and then go past the eye black like I cast the hex.
What the fuck, man?
And I chant. Spirits with ethereal eyes, let me peer through reality's guise, for the knowledge that I need to know is yours within. So, and I say again, as I cast the watching hex.
Oh god.
Which is and I need to roll for dark, obviously.
Yeah.
But I enter a deep sleep and begin to see the world through the eyes of the hexed. You can feel their reactions to an impression of what they are seeing, but I need dark.
Okay, question. While we're doing this, let's talk about the like longevity of things and like the breaking of things, because I would say if you're casting another, I would say this breaks the Ring of Lies.
For sure.
Because you're a baby. Like
no, exactly. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I even think like if you want to like give me a harm for this being like the third hex I've done today or something like that. Like
and so then I'm looking at sympathetic tokens on the witch thing.
Yes.
And I'm assuming you're using Ronnie's phone.
Yes.
As her sympathetic token, but then it says sympathetic tokens count as strings.
Okay, yeah.
So do you only have like the amount of sympathetic tokens on a person that you have strings? So if you've done a hex on someone, is that take away a string? And if you only have 2 strings on someone, you can't do another hex on them even if you have a sympathetic token?
I would say that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I think I think when it says I read sympathetic tokens count as strings mean you can use it as a string, meaning add the +1 to it if you want, or that's how I took it, but you should decide.
Okay.
But I'm down with like I can only use a sympathetic token once. Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah, because it says you start the game with 2 sympathetic tokens, decide whose and what they are.
Yeah.
But if you're going through the
Yeah, it would be weird if I
work,
just permanently had string.
yeah, so if you're going through the work of like finding someone's phone or
Yeah.
asking, because like that's kind of what you've been doing is like in order to do a hex on someone, you are making a roll or trying to like specify that you're getting something from them. So yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll say, yeah, if you get
I'm gonna get
one
rid of
sympathetic
Vernon's script because I
token,
use that.
yeah. But I would say, yeah, you can only use one sympathetic token. So like you can't use another. Once you use this string on Ronnie's phone, you don't have it again.
Yeah, and it's like I have the phone still, but the magic essence.
You have the phone, yeah, but
of
the magic
her
essence is gone. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you would have to, in
I
order
also
to
have her
cast another
notebook,
hex.
so
Okay.
I'll have another one.
Okay.
But
Cool.
yes, so I will use my dark. I will use this, and yes, I completely agree. I think this breaks the cast on Becca.
Yeah.
And you know, canonically, we've already done the watching hex, and I was able to break out of it with Vernon, and I was able to choose to break out of that one.
Yeah.
But I think it makes
So I
sense
think you
that I
can,
know how
yeah.
to. I think it makes perfect sense narratively that I know how to get out of some, and I don't know how to get out of others.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we
okay.
can talk about that as you level up as well.
So I am going to roll dark. And I am going to use a string to add an additional +1.
Okay.
Is how I'm going to use it.
Okay.
Because do you still think that even though I can only use them once, but I still can use them as strings, meaning I can like add a +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so here we go. I've yet to fail a roll, by the way, humble brag. But that also means I have no experience. Okay. That's an 11. So with 11, that's a full success. So I'll read the hex just one more time for you in the stream. You enter a deep sleep and begin to see the world through the eyes of the hex. You can feel their reactions to and impressions of what they are seeing. I'm sorry, Angie. If you want to choose that, I'm totally down with you choosing that this doesn't work for some reason or another, but my character would try it.
It absolutely works. It absolutely works. And you, similarly to in the stall when you tried to spy on Vernon, or like when you hexed Vernon, you feel your consciousness leave your brain and flow into the brain of Ronnie. And at first you don't think the spell worked and you don't see anything. You try to open your eyes and you don't feel them open, but you hear the same feeling in your head. You feel the same. It's almost as if you are melting and reforming and melting and reforming. And you hear the same words over and over in your head. Please help. Please help. Please help. But it is nothing but darkness and blackness. And that same anxious melting and reforming. A hot wave followed by a cool down. A hot wave followed by a cool down. And this goes on for however long.
Yeah, I think I would break out of that. Too.
What the fuck, man? You were like twitchy. That was scary, man. Are you the devil? What the fuck?
No, Josh. I don't know what that
means. What me? Who's dead?
I don't know, Josh.
Don't yell at me, man. I'm freaking out.
Sorry.
I don't usually do weed.
I think he's not like sobbing or anything. Like he's not like heaving, but I think tears are running down his eyes.
Okay. Whoa, man.
Listen, we're not fucking trackers, okay? There's nothing else we can do.
Okay, he like holds out his hand to help you up.
Sorry, I'm sorry I yelled at you.
No, it's okay. We should tell someone. We should tell someone about your friends.
Yeah. And I think I would like take Josh and like very gently like push him and like start walking back to mausoleum.
Yeah, he would absolutely go.
Yeah, and I think on the way I've picked up her phone. I grab anything that I can grab from anybody. Mm-hmm. Probably just my book in there.
Yeah.
And then I think on the way, my phone. I think I called 911.
Okay.
So I called 911.
Yeah, we'll cut there,
yeah.
And we will go back to Josie. You will say, just because you rolled pretty decently with your stay cool or remain calm or whatever that move is. Keep your cool. Everybody remain calm. You make it out of your house. Your parents are sharing some relaxation time on the couch. It smells a little smoky. You don't really want to get involved in that. That dad Kush from Portland is really helping them out tonight. So you sneak out of the house, text Duffy, and you don't get a text back, but you continue to run towards the woods again?
Yeah, I continue to run towards the woods and text Duffy to like meet at the edge of the woods by the cemetery, like where we met up with everyone else.
Okay.
Just and like I'm freaking out and like constantly checking my phone and just like running in like cold sweat.
Yeah. You are too new to know that you could probably have taken the 86 bus from your apartment to the woods, but you are
fucking
happy.
Tourist.
Fucking tourist.
I feel like if any adult sees me right now, I'm gonna get in trouble. So
yeah. So you are just like, and you don't really know, like, running, commuting by foot or in a car. You haven't really known the bus system yet, or the train system. So yeah, you just book it. Steve, as you and Josh, Steve and Vernon, as Josh and Steve make their way back to the group, you hear Duffy squeak, "My sister just texted me. She is."
Where are they?
Hang on. And he like goes into his phone and texts Josie. You get a text that says, "Is Ronnie with you?"
I text back, "No, I haven't seen her. Are you okay?"
You get a thumbs up reaction from Duffy, and Duffy says to you, Steve and Vernon, "It's just, I don't know where Ronnie is. I don't know where she is, but Josie's okay. And I don't know where she is, but she said she's gonna meet us on the edge of the woods. We should go."
I think Steve is just so exhausted, hexing and running emotionally. I think he just like falls on his knees and starts crying.
Okay.
Did anyone see who this was? What, we just ran at the first sight of. You don't know anything about what happened.
We were in the woods and all of a sudden surrounded by sounded like footsteps or all steps, I don't know. And we were surrounded and they started running towards us, sprinting towards. Definitely wasn't some friendly welcoming. So we picked up and ran. We were able to get running fell or something, I don't know.
All right, let's go meet up with Josie.
Call the police. They're very.
I start walking back towards where Duffy said to meet Josie, just kind of walking.
Numbly.
Yeah, Josh will, taking his kind of newfound protector role that he was kind of doing for you, Steve, walks in front and kind of just makes sure is like looking out, kind of looking to see if he can see any police presence coming up as you make your way across the path. And about the time that y'all make it back to the edge of the cemetery, Onyx, you sit at the top of this outlook with your dad, having seen everything that just went down, and satisfied with the course of action that he and his pack have taken. Your father stands up, turns to you, puts his head on your cheek, and kind of nudges you, and then walks away.
As he's walking away, I think I'd be like, Dad, what are you doing with them? Where did you take them? You can't just... Where is she?
He'll keep walking away. And leap like down a couple like rocks of the crag and off towards where you know to be their like pack den.
Can I see from that little lookout, like down where the cemetery is at all? Like, can I see any of the rest of them that are gathered there still?
So you could see kind of the edge of the woods line, like right where the cemetery meets the forest line.
Yeah.
And you can see kind of the glow of the street lights and the headlights that like are coming through from the city and from the cemetery. And you did see them, you saw people make their way to the edge of the forest line, but you don't see them anymore now that they've walked past that limelight.
Yeah. I think that Onyx is like like, shit, this is gonna make my second day of school suck. And like my blossoming friendship with Steve, like I don't know if I could see who was taken, but I'm like, this is not good. And I don't really know how to, like, I don't feel like prepared to like face them, like, and be able to give an explanation. But I also know that like the sooner I get it over with, probably the better, if I can like try to explain before they all leave. So I would try to make my way down back to the cemetery, back wherever they are on the edge. I think it'd be slow going because I'm pretty beat up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say you can make your way, you know, you've been up here like once or twice, so you know the path down, pretty much the opposite of where your father went, down towards the edge of the cemetery. So yeah, we'll say that you make your way slowly but surely. I think it'd probably take you about like 10-ish minutes to get to the edge because you can see it from there. And you all didn't go like too far in. Even though it's a dense forest, it probably felt like a lot farther than it actually was. So Onyx makes. Oh, go ahead.
Is it possible before I like am within sight of any of them to come in the opposite end of the graveyard? And I don't know if my younger siblings are still in the mausoleum. Like I don't know if they're home or if my parents like got them out of there before stuff happened or what. I just want to like check and see if they're around.
Yeah, do you like physically like go into the mausoleum?
If I can do it without anyone else seeing me, yes.
I was gonna say by that time they all probably would be like waiting in front of or like a little like a few yards ahead of, so you would risk being seen.
Okay.
Just because they're all so jumpy and on edge, I would say.
Yeah. So without trying to like sneak in there, then I think I would like hang back behind it a little bit, listen to what they're saying. I hear Steve say that he called the police, which is not great news. And I'm gonna have a talk about abolition with him later.
Fair.
And
absolutely fair.
I eventually like kind of shuffle out from behind there and like as quickly and quietly as possible, because I don't want to like freak them out more, like startle them. Just like, hey guys, it's me, it's Onyx. Hi.
Onyx, where have you been?
Oh shit.
And I imagine that I look like
yeah, you absolutely, at this point I would say that like your neck is just like a like caked red like mess. Your eye is bruised from where you've probably been dragged. Your hair is just matted and disheveled. You look like pretty rough.
Yeah.
Like day 4 Lollapalooza rough.
God, are you okay? Were you attacked?
Yeah. Were you attacked?
Oh my god, wait, but what was it? Like coyotes or dogs or like what attacked you? This is Josh.
I don't really know. It I think came up from behind. I didn't see it, and I blacked out and woke up deeper in the woods, and it had left. So I don't know. What happened?
We were waiting for you, and you never showed up, so we were in the woods alone, and we were just all sitting there, and then we got attacked by what I think were wolves, howl and many footsteps, and Josie is apparently okay. I think she escaped, but I don't know what happened to Ronnie.
I'm like conflicted because I didn't like Ronnie very much, but I also do like I also do like Steve, so I'm like, oh man. I'm like, oh, it's Ronnie. Shit, they just took one.
I called
or two. I mean, they took me somewhere too, but maybe she'll wake up in the woods too. Like I'm a little worse for wear, but I'll be fine.
Well, I called the police so that
Steve called the police.
Oh.
That's what I was supposed to do, right?
Yeah. I think that maybe
I think that like Steve and Becca are just like hugging each other.
Well, and you feel, if that's the case, then Steve, you feel Becca like kind of actively pressing away from you.
Oh well, then I would let her go.
Would you? Okay, yeah. She like kind of keeps her distance from you.
What were you doing? What were you doing right before this attack? Were you making a lot of noise?
No, I was looking for you guys. Sorry, I like showed up a little late and you weren't at the meeting point, and I've been around here before. I was just looking for where you went.
Vernon, where were you? Why were you just in the woods?
I was coming to meet you all at the mausoleum, like we said. I was just a little late.
How did you know where we were in the woods?
Your group is not very well at keeping quiet. You were chanting. What was that about?
And I realized that like I let Becca and Josh and Dustin and Ronnie and Josie and Duffy, I let them in on everything, but Onyx and Vernon don't. And it's just a stupid.
And you hear like Becca next to you, Steve, give like a muffled like sob into her hands. And around that same time, Josie, all of you hear the crunch of running footsteps, and you see a flash of blue hair come around the corner as Josie, very out of breath and partially disheveled from running, makes her way into the group.
Sophie, oh my god.
Josie! And he like runs and like hugs you and like latches himself on. You were right. You were holding my hand. You were right behind me, and then you weren't there anymore. And I ran and Steve went back in, and we can't find Ronnie.
Josie,
did you just come from Josie?
Yeah. Wait.
I ran. I just all of a sudden I was out of the woods, but I didn't know where I was, and I had to double back to come find you here.
What do you
didn't see Ronnie at all?
No, it's hey, guys, where'd you come from?
Who? Me?
Onyx and
I was looking for you guys, and they, I mean, whatever it is, I don't think you can really be sure. Like,
you're covered in blood.
Yeah, I don't
attacked.
feel great, but like, we're gonna be fine tomorrow. It'll be fine. I'm like definitely lying. I'm like,
yeah,
in a lot of pain, but nothing can stop me. Don't worry. Yeah.
In the distance, you start to hear the.
Hey guys, I when I was meeting you all here earlier, I left my jacket inside the mausoleum actually, so I'm just, I feel kind of, I'm just gonna go grab it.
We're
like, right duck inside.
Yeah, we were like right outside the mausoleum. It's not like she's going.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like duck inside.
Yeah.
See what evidence there is of siblings.
You don't see any figures. You don't hear any like movement or anything at the removal of the door. But you do see a couple of crayons and a page of the coloring book left in the mausoleum.
I'm just gonna pick it up and like look at it. Anything?
Yeah, it's just a half-colored coloring page.
Okay, so I'm like at least they're not responsible. They're not here, and I like rummage around and like grab one of my jackets and like walk back outside, close the door.
Yeah. By then the sirens of the police cars start to surround the entrance to the cemetery, and an officer steps out and approaches you, Steve, and that's where we're going to take our bio break.
Gosh.
So yeah, before we get into the aftermath of this evening's events, we'll go ahead and stretch, grab some water, grab some popcorn, because the second part is gonna get not so crazy, maybe. Who's to say? As we find out what happened to Ronnie, what's going on with Josie, why was Vernon being a creep, and why did Onyx's parents both attack her in different ways, emotionally and physically. So come back. We won't be long. We'll see you soon. Oh, is it happening?
Yeah, it is.
Right now?
Yep, we're live right now.
We're on live.
Live.
We're doing it live. Okay. Hi everybody, welcome back. We took deep breaths and we drank some water because it's 113 degrees in Chicago right now. Where are you at and how many degrees is it? Hit us up in the chat. But we left off with the authorities making their way to the cemetery after Steve's frantic 911 call. They take your statements, they tape off the entrance to the cemetery. Y'all are sent home, some of you in police cars. Becca and Josh get a ride from one patrol officer, and Dustin, Steve, comes up to you after everything is said and done, and puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "Are you gonna be okay? Do you want me to walk with you, or?" Okay. Okay.
Need a ride?
I mean, do you guys go down the green line?
Usually, but she took the tarp off the.
Okay. Yeah, just maybe drop me off at the stop at the green line. And I can go from there. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I think I would,
yeah.
And if that, I mean, hopefully you weren't planning on killing my mom or anything. That's something we can.
Well, now that you mention it.
And I think I would very cautiously and hurriedly look at Becca. And maybe not even look at her, but just kind of like in her general direction. Becca, do you need a ride?
She kind of looks at you, just still pretty scared, pretty shaken up, and says, "No, I'll take the train. I'll take the train. I'll see you guys at school tomorrow." And she hurriedly walks off.
I would be like, be silent as she say, if anybody else needs a ride, my mom has a minivan.
We take a ride.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
I'm taking the train. I'll accompany Becca. She seems shaken up.
Dustin looks at you, Onyx, and is like, "Do you wanna? Are you gonna be able to get home okay?"
Yeah, I live just a couple blocks away, so I'll just walk over there.
What you, Josh?
Josh and oh, was it Josh and Becca that got a ride? Who did I say? Somebody got a ride from
Vernon and Becca walked to the train.
Vernon and Becca.
I don't
Well,
think we
so then
talked about
Josh would get a ride from a patrol officer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's everybody, right?
Yep, that's everybody.
Roll call.
Except for Ronnie.
Except for Ronnie. So yeah, everybody disperses. We'll start with Steve. Your mom pulls up in the minivan. What does she do, by the way? What's her job?
I think it's classic waitress at like a diner. And
like a 24-hour diner.
Yes, yeah. And I think that my dad left us some money, so we okay. And I think that she is an artist. That like sometimes commissions art, and she was kind of just doing that while dad was alive, and that was like enough to make supplemental income. And I think since he's died, she's had to pick up this hour wait.
And I would even say that because likely they offered her more to work night shifts, so she gets paid a little bit extra, so she's willing to pick up those shifts, especially now that you're like in high school and you're self-sufficient.
Exactly. It's like that classic thing of like I come home to like a note saying there's like Anya in the fridge that you can
or like money for pizza or something.
Exactly. Money
okay, so you see, and I'll pull her picture up again because she's just the most darling little bean. You see Steve, you see your mom, and then oh god, where is she? There she is. Josie and Josh, or Josie and Dustin and Duffy, you see this woman here, is it Gina?
It is Gina, yeah.
Gina Taylor. And she like
my aunt's
almost
name. Shout out Aunt Gina.
Hey Gina. She pulls up the crunch of gravel again, and she rolls down the window on the passenger side to you, Steve, and she's like, okay, everybody, get in. Come on, it's late, get in. Duffy is clung to you, Josie, just for the remainder of this.
Thanks, Miss Taylor.
Thanks.
This is my friends Josie, little brother Duffy, and this.
Hi, Miss Taylor. Of course, you can always call me. No questions asked. I know what teenagers are up to these days. I don't want to know, but I know. Okay. And she like rolls up the window. Oh, Dustin, sweetheart, will you close the door? It's not one of those automatics. And Dustin like swings closed the door and like nods and smiles, and she takes off down towards y'all. Charts. She takes off yard towards everybody's houses and she drops y'all off.
I like to imagine we're probably like all just silent. Like
I was gonna say, does anybody want to say anything? Duffy Steve would just be like with his head on your shoulder, Josie.
I think Steve does something that he used with his mom when he was a kid in the car. Just like while her hands just like resting in her car, he just like is seeking that like
Steve, you feel your phone buzz in your pocket, and it's a text from Dustin, who's right behind you. And it says, do you think Ronnie's okay?
That I did another hex. Long story. I'll tell you all about it. I'll even say. I'll say. We meet up before school.
He sends a thumbs up reaction to, can we meet up before school? And then all you get back in response is a GIF of Harry Potter holding his wand for the first time and like his hair blowing up and like that. And you kind of chuckle a little bit.
Steve definitely
and,
actually.
Yeah.
I think I would respond to the gift with not laughing.
Yeah.
Because we have iPhones.
Who was that,
We're not
Dustin?
idiots.
Hey, get fucked. Okay.
Dustin that you were talking to?
Yeah, Dustin. He's texting Dustin. And now this is a sponsored by Android Twitch stream. So suck it.
Not the what is it? Subaru?
Subaru. Yes, no more Subarus. Okay. So y'all make your way to your various homes. Vernon, you catch up with Becca, who is now walking. She's just dinged her pass to the train and is heading up to the platform.
I kind of hurry to catch up. Hey, Becca.
Oh,
sorry,
Vernon.
I didn't mean to scare you. I just saw that you were shaking up, and I just wanted to make sure that you got home safely.
Oh, okay, that's really nice.
And I don't know what happened to Ronnie. I hope it's not bad, but I want you to know that you did nothing wrong. I hope that's somewhat comforting. There's perhaps there were people in your group that did things wrong, but
who did something wrong? Well, no, don't even answer that. What was that? What was Steve doing? That was really freaky.
I don't know. I was kind of wondering that myself.
You weren't even there. Why am I even asking you? Where were you? You and Onyx was gone, and
I was there. I was a little behind. I heard, I don't know, chanting and then running, and I don't know if there's a correlation or not. Do you
think that Steve like summoned something?
I don't know. I would like to think that it's something that Steve wouldn't do, but I mean, it's kind of a crazy coincidence that do you know what's in that book?
I've never even seen it before. And I just know like he and Ronnie have been really weird around each other. And like, I don't know, like he's been kind of mean to her. And
how are they weird?
She's like, I don't know. Mean? They just like always got along so well. And then like right before school started, they just like started being weird around each other. And like, honestly, I thought maybe like Steve like got a crush on her or something. Cause like that happens sometimes in high school apparently. And so I just thought maybe that he was having a crush on her or like she was having a crush on him or something. But like, I don't know. It's just been so weird. And now I'm like, is this why? Like, does she know something? And then like, did he try to hurt her? Or like, why would he do that though? Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. This is, I don't even know you. This is like, so.
It's, yeah, I think these are all good questions. I don't know. I think that whatever is in that book, I think we should try to figure it out because I think Steve knows something that we should know.
Like you're saying, like we should try to get the book.
I mean, I'm not that close to Steve, but if this is a life or death situation for Ronnie, I think we should know what's in the book.
God, I hope she's not dead.
I am going to use my ability Hypnotic.
Oh God. Okay.
I roll with hot and do they on a 10 and up they do exactly what you wish and have no idea that anything is wrong.
Okay. Oh God, I remember this one.
Well, as if they don't have any
so familiar.
yeah.
Except this time he's the vampire, and yet I'm still the one that looks bad.
Oh yeah, somehow we made it around. Only in this narrative.
Okay, so I have a string on everyone because I'm hot. So
How
I'm
hot
gonna
are you?
at least a 2. And then I am going to pull my string to add 1 to this.
Ooh, okay. Go for
Um,
it.
Getting excited.
okay.
Yeah.
So add 1 to whatever I roll.
Wait, don't do it yet. I'm gonna show the stream. I've yet to do this.
Yes.
Ready when you are.
Okay. Did it work? Come on.
I didn't get it.
Drum roll,
Yeah.
please.
I swear I rolled
And
it.
we're doing it.
Let's try again.
Oh, the first one was the 10.
We'll take the first one.
Okay.
So there is a success there. Wait, actually, just to make sure, because I have been tracking. Okay, cool. I was just gonna make sure Becca didn't have any string on you for whatever reason. So yeah, you just barely have enough charm on Becca for like one being the one to like offer to chauffeur her home essentially. Or I guess no, because Steve offered to chauffeur her. So yeah, just the fact that you kind of like showed up in this and are being just very kind and considerate, she is now hypnotized and she will do exactly what you wish.
I just think if you have a chance, just, I don't want to alert Steve, but, I really think this might be life or death, and maybe we should see what's in there. And if it has anything to do with being attacked in the graveyard, and I don't know what Steve did to you earlier because it clearly upset you, but I think, what's in that book is the key to figuring out where Ronnie is.
Vernon, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't know, like I'll check to make sure if he brings it to school tomorrow, I'll see if I can get it from him. It might be a long game, but I think you're right. I think we need to see what's in that book, and I think we need to figure out what is going on with Steve.
Yeah, and it's okay if it's a long game. I don't want you to get hurt because I don't know what any of these people are capable of, but just stay safe, and if you need help, I'm always there. I want to know what happened.
I do too. But Vernon, I'm really scared. There's a lot happening.
It's okay to be scared. I mean, some scary things happened, and that's a valid feeling. I'm scared too.
No, are you really?
Yeah, of course. I'm scared. Someone we know just disappeared, and you see Onyx badly injured. That's scary.
That was fucked up. That was honestly like, I'm really freaked out for Ronnie, but like Onyx was messed up.
Yeah, that was weird. Maybe something to keep an eye on.
Well, thanks for traveling with me, I guess. What stop do you get off at?
I get off at Belmont stop. It's in 4 stops.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm 2 stops after that on Park. So
okay. You want me to walk you from the train station? It's a pretty short walk.
Okay. No, that's that. I'll be fine.
All right. Yep, no problem.
And she kind of like reaches down and like squeezes your hand.
I squeeze it back.
She kind of smiles at you. And we'll cut to Josie and Duffy being delivered to their home, their new home in just ever so wholesome Angelwood, Cairns, Oregon. And Gina, God, I did it right the first time. Gina, sorry, Aunt Gina, kind of waves to you. She's already taken Dustin home, and now she's dropping y'all off. She kind of waves. Duffy kind of waves at you, Steve. And as y'all pull away, it's you and Duffy, Josie.
God, I'm so glad she didn't want to talk to Mom. Are you okay?
Where did you go? You were there and then you were gone, and I can't figure it out, and it's freaking me out, Josie.
I don't know. I don't want to put this on you, but I'm also I'm scared and I don't know. And I was running next to you and I was just so scared, and I wanted to protect you, and I was just then gone, and it was like I disappeared and was back home, and
You were back home?
Yeah.
You went all the way back home without me?
The first thing I did was run back. I don't know how to explain it. I'm scared, and you can't tell Mom or Dad.
What? That doesn't even make sense. They're gonna think I'm crazy if I tell them that we were running in the woods and then you went home and you were just home and then you had to come. Like, what does that even mean?
I don't know, but I don't know. I can't hold on to this by myself anymore, but things have been really weird the last couple days, and
Yeah. What?
I think the same thing might have happened the other night when I was out in the woods, and then all of a sudden I was home, and I don't know what it means.
Wait, you came home and wait, say that again? You went to the woods and then you came home.
Yeah, but I didn't walk home. I just was home.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know, and we saw somebody doing magic tonight.
Yeah, that was really scary.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I've just felt really weird the last 2 days. And I don't know, I don't feel like myself. And Duffy,
He puts his hand on your elbow, like to squeeze your arm, seeing that you're getting upset. Oh, I think someone texted you.
Yeah.
You look at your phone and
it's a bunch of numbers I don't know. We just moved to a new town.
Yeah, they all have weird 312 numbers. It's I don't even know what that means. Yeah, he squeezes your arm, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, let's get inside. You're so cold. We should get you inside. Are you gonna be okay? Is this just teenage stuff like Mom said?"
Yeah, I think this is just teenage stuff.
Oh, I don't want to be a teenager.
Try and bring my resolve back and take his hand and hold onto it tight, and feel the warmth of him, and bring him back inside.
As you squeeze him tighter, you see a look come across his face that he doesn't say anything to you. He's a super insightful kid, very empathetic, and just but you see for a brief second, he's concerned at how cold you are. And like kind of like glances at you to try to see if he can figure it out. And then just his little kid brain takes over and he's just glad to be home and go to bed.
Yeah.
So I'll say, yeah, easily you two get back in the house without much interference from mom and dad, and you make your way up to your room, and you see the same room that you fritzed into earlier, and you look in the mirror and you see the blue hair that you dyed in a effort to assert your independence and your control over your own image. A little bit rebellious and a little bit comfort. And ever so briefly, for just a split second, you feel a presence behind you, as if someone is like standing in your doorway. And then you feel a splitting headache start to form in the back of your skull and radiate through to your eyes. You start feeling nauseous and you feel a hot wave of adrenaline rush through your body, and then a cold wave as it settles. And you go to bed.
Yeah.
In hopes that tomorrow will be a better day.
Yeah.
Onyx. Oh, go ahead. Yeah,
I was gonna say I cover up, just like trying to like fight this cold feeling in my body.
Mm-hmm. It fluctuates a little, like as anxiety does after a big event. Like you feel hot, you feel cold until you regulate. And once the panic passes, you find yourself falling asleep pretty easily. You've had a night. Onyx. The police have left. The tape is still up. Steve and Dustin and Duffy and Josie and Josh and Vernon and Becca and everyone who accompanied you tonight have made their way home, and you walk the few blocks back from your fake few blocks where you went home, back to the mausoleum, and in the shadow of the lamplight kind of glistening off of one of the street lamps, you catch a like sweep of blondish brown wild hair, and you hear a giggle from behind the wall of the mausoleum.
Hello? Is that... Where are you?
Go.
Juno! Cody!
Out from behind the mausoleum steps your older sister, Alaska. And I'll put her picture up again just for everyone to remember her. And she steps out front of the mausoleum. And sorry, I have something in my eyeball. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm not crying, I promise.
Okay.
Cool. I'm good. Steps out from behind the mausoleum and just like puts her arm up and says, "Oh, hey."
Alaska.
That's me. What's up?
Are you drunk?
Are you drunk?
I like step a little like into the light. Like,
Oh, fuck.
no, Alaska, I'm not fucking drunk.
What the fuck happened to you?
Mom and Dad happened to me.
Oh,
Oh shit. Is there a little
fuck.
secret that you forgot to keep? The little promise you decided to break?
Oh, fuck. Oh my fucking God. Onyx, I'm so sorry.
What did you
Oh
think
my
was gonna
God.
happen?
No, I'm so sorry. They asked me where you were going to be, and then I thought I didn't think, and I said she was hanging out with her friends, and I didn't think I said that you were coming here, but you, and she like comes closer to you, and you can like smell just like weed and like a little bit of liquor on her, and she just like grabs her hand. She's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Like, we need to get like, let's get you cleaned up. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry."
Where were you tonight?
I was just hanging out with some
Hanging out where?
friends.
You weren't hanging out at home.
I was just hanging out with some friends
Who?
from school. Like they're in my class. You wouldn't know them.
I think I would know at least one of them. Yeah.
And you see her kind of like search her brain. She's like, "Seth, I was hanging out with Seth."
Yeah. Look, I don't ultimately care where you were, but I don't know where Cody and Juno are. And you said that you would keep an eye out for them so I could do this tonight. I mean, Mom was really angry.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They took one of my classmates. Alaska.
Who did?
The pack.
No.
You know the full moon lookout spot?
Yeah.
I got knocked out, woke up there, and I saw the pack circling my new friends. They took someone who I guess is not really my friend, but it's still bad.
And they like she's gone.
Yeah.
Like you haven't seen.
Didn't you notice the yellow tape when you came back here?
Honestly, no. I'm kind of fucked up right now, and that's not your fault, and that's not like anybody's fault, and I feel really bad, and I think I'm gonna throw up, and this was such a fucking good night, and it just took a fucking turn, and hang on. And she like turns around and like throws up behind the mausoleum. I'm like, comes back and
a little farther away from home.
I'm fucking sorry. I'm not gonna fucking run. Shit, I feel so much better though. God.
Hey, can you like help me, because I like feel awful. It feels like they cracked my skull open. I don't think Mom's ever been that rough with me.
She like comes over and like moves your hair to like look at your neck. And then like as she moves your hair, she like pulls her hand back and like blood like cakes on her hand, and she's like, shit, and feels up on your skull. You definitely have like maybe like a hairline fracture, it's not medical things, I don't know, you know. But there's some definite like blood head going on, and she like brings her hand back. It's just like caked in dirt.
I'm like,
she's like,
I need to like, go to urgent care or something.
I don't know. Let's get you in a bath. Let's like clean you up. Let's see what's up.
Okay.
I think like we have enough tools. I'll stitch you up if I need to. And you know, like you have been in this family long enough that the amount of roughhousing that happens, like you guys are well versed. You've been stitched by Alaska maybe 1 or 2 times. But you do see a look of concern over her face at like, this is like much worse than your mother has ever really inflicted upon any of you. And she kind of like, as she's like checking you, like looks into your eyes and she's like, Mom really did this?
Yeah, if she did this to me, I had no idea what she would have done to Ronnie.
What?
It feels like they're hiding something, Alaska.
I was gonna say, like, there's no way that like just because a group of your friends were coming out here, like I didn't even think it was that bad. Like, I just told her that you made friends and that you were gonna hang out. Like,
she's psychotic.
yeah, there's just something going on. Like these disappearances, and like if they took one of your friends, are they responsible for the rest of them?
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, it looks pretty bad, doesn't it? But then what? Like, I lied to everyone tonight about where I was because, like, I don't want them to know that I'm, that
No,
we, like, if
yeah,
this just happened, they're going to turn on me.
yeah. We gotta like keep an eye out. And maybe just like go hang out at your friends' houses. Not to like make light of the situation,
Ugh.
but
Where, do you know where Cody and Juno are?
no, I just got back. I was
Ugh.
hanging out
They're
elsewhere.
probably in their wolf forms tonight and just decided to sleep out in the woods. But we can't stay here while the police are investigating.
Yeah, we should.
So
She like
I don't
opens
know.
the door of the mausoleum and starts to like get her stuff out.
Where are you gonna go?
We're gonna go find Cody and Juno.
Oh, okay. I thought you were leaving on your own.
No, I'm not leaving you. After tonight, no. I owe you.
Yeah, you do, actually. That's disgusting. It's kind of like, I don't know, embarrassed. Don't you feel embarrassed, Alaska?
About what?
Vomiting?
No, I feel much better. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Let's go find our children.
And she like nudges you and gives a like very faint little "Awoo" as she like runs into
You're like,
the
do that
woods.
right now.
And you all have a nice little lighthearted sisterly time before the screen pulls away and you watch the moon settle into the sky. The faint light of dawn fades onto the horizon. The woods, the spot where you all gathered and did your seance and met as a group for the first time, becomes illuminated in the morning sun and suddenly doesn't seem so scary if you were to be standing there now. And as the light starts to illuminate into each of your bedrooms, you receive a ping on your cell phone. And you get this text that I will put into all of your journals. Angelwood Emergency Notification Service. Missing minor, Ronnie Marks. Last seen the evening of August 28th. Wearing black beanie, black jacket. Information on her whereabouts should be reported directly to the Angelwood neighborhood. ... And that's where we'll leave off tonight's session.
Oh my
Monsterhearts. With a missing Ronnie. An evening of friendship and frivolity coming to a sour and somber end. And more questions than answers for some of our lovely little Angelwood High freshmen. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, players. I'll thank you now and then I'll thank you later. We are going to be back for session 5 of this ongoing, persistent as F Monsterheart campaign in 2 Thursdays from now. But between now and then,
maybe not.
Oh no, maybe not. Yes, good call.
Yeah.
In like 4 Thursdays then, because Zach had the audacity to get married to Ronnie Marks. Wonder why she's missing. Just kidding. I love you. Yeah, Zach and Emily are getting married.
Will she be missing at the altar?
Stay tuned. That'll be the episode of Monsterhearts. If we have an episode of Monsterhearts in 2 Thursdays, you know what went down at the wedding. This is getting darker and darker.
But we still do an episode of Monster.
So yeah, in a bunch of Thursdays, come back. We'll be back and ready to go. Between now and then, catch us on Sunday for the continuation of our D&D campaign, A Little Help, where we are going to seek a sapphire primordial heart in the middle of the abyssal eye, which is scary enough for even a pirate captain not to want to go to. And then next Thursday, right? Yeah, yep. Right? Yep. We are starting the Urse of Strahd. Will we find the Sea of the Curse? Probably not in this session, but in one session, maybe. Will we find a marketing director who can use spell check? So in that Thursday, come to watch Matt and a cast of crazy characters make their way through the Curse of Strahd module. And then check out all our socials for updates, events, subscription stuff that's going to be coming out soon. Subscribe to our Twitch. Like, there's ads that you maybe don't want to see. Get those ads out of there by subscribing to us and helping support your local nerdy artists.
Local.
Because we're local. Yeah. We're in America.
Where you are.
What's more local than on your computer screen?
If you're in Italy, we are still local.
I can be local.
I can be local. I could be local for Italy. Shout out to our Italian viewers. Anywho, just making some lighthearted brevity to offset some of the heaviness. Love you all very much. Thank you to these beautiful, beautiful players for keeping each other safe in this wild, wild, very deep, heavy game. And after all of that, everybody say bye.
Bye.
Byes are much more.
Bye. Yeah.
Okay, bye.